Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Um, it is Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. It's 1 p.m. This is Bronx Community Board 2 District Service Cabinet meeting. Ralph Acevedo, I'm the district manager. I know it's I like to do introductions. It's going to be a little bit difficult, obviously, under the circumstances. Um, However, I just want to introduce, we have so far I see two guests on right now. Um, my chairman, Bobby Crespo, who's happened to join us today just to see what's going on. And part of our bylaws allows the chairman to attend. And I also see that on right now we have Assembly Member elected Kenny Burgos. So Kenny, are you there?
I'm here.
How we doing, Kenny?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We rarely have. We always have the representatives of the elected officials, and I always leave them some time at the end of the meeting. However, since you happen to be joining us, I don't know if you just want to say a few words.
No, I just want to thank you for inviting me here. I'm happy to kind of get more acclimated with Community Board 2. I know a lot of my experience is Community Board 9, now with CB2, obviously part of the district. I'm happy to be here. I'm just going to listen in to see what's going on and stay updated. So if you have any questions, I guess we'll do it again.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Assembly Member-elect. Also, I want to say that we're joined by current City Council member and Congressman-elect Richie Torres. So, Richie, good afternoon.
How are you, Rob? Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. Thank you for coming. I don't know if you want to say a few words.
I'm looking forward to working with the members of the community board. What you already know, you have an exceptional district manager. There are a few people who are as rooted on the ground and as grassroots as Rafael Acevedo. We have a long history. I actually worked with Rafael when I was an intern for council member Jimmy Baca, so he has seen me go from intern to housing director to city council member to congressman. But my background, leads me to recognize that it's state and local governments, especially community boards, that are on the front lines of providing public services. And for me, the role of the New York City congressional delegation is to ensure that we're bringing resources to New York City and supporting our local and state governments so that we're implementing public services as smoothly as possible. And I'm going to work my heart out to achieve this goal. I'm just here to be a support structure for Ralph and the community board, and I look forward to working with each other. I hope to be as active and as visible and as vocal as I can.
Yeah. Congressman,
thank you.
Congressman, this is Bobby Cook. I thank you for your words. But now that means I got it. When we go back, Ralph is going to ask for a raise. And I don't know if I can afford it. So,
does any of our city agencies or other elected reps here have any questions for Richie? Anybody has any questions or comments for Richie? Okay, hearing none. Congressman-elect, thank you once again. I know you have stated coming on in a little while. You're welcome to stay. Here, I guess, the few city agencies that maybe we'll discuss what's on the agenda. And if you have any questions or if Assembly Member-elect Burgos has any questions, just please let me know. And thank you once again. And Chairman Crespo, thank you once again for also joining on. So we'll just go right down the agenda. Sergeant, I know you're on here. Can you provide us an update with the 28-day stats?
Sure. So as of right now, 28-day stats, we're actually down from robberies, 10 from 11 from last year. We're up a little bit in burglaries. I took 13 over 11 last year. So we have a slight increase because of some of the commercial burglaries in the commercial area like Amazon. They broke into a few trucks, but we've made a bunch of arrests in regards to that. We actually made an arrest last night in regards to it. I have a serial burglar, Stephen Smith. He's one of my biggest serial burglars. The problem is we keep arresting him and they keep letting him out. So I'm working with the DA's office to see if we can get this guy, because I actually have him on video also stating the same fact that, he's going to be out tomorrow. So, because it's a nonviolent crime. So we're working on putting him away. And we're up a slight uptick in GLA. Same thing as last time. People are leaving their keys in the car while the car is running. 149 in Southern is one of my trouble spots. That being said, we took a homicide at 813 Fail. I'm sure most of you heard about it in the paper. It was a gentleman by the name of Jose Garcia. He was incarcerated for quite a number of years. He came out. We think it was a beef that had just recently come up in the last couple of days. But my NCOs actually, along with the community partner, I don't want to say any names, but one of the community partners actually reached out to one of my NCOs, and we were able to ID the person. He was wanted, Jose Rivera, so we're looking for him. We had him ID'd in less than 24 hours. Also, Victor Figueroa from Sanitation, I want to give him a huge shout out. We were having the ongoing issue. I was talking to Mr. Acevedo. It was an ongoing issue on the Bruckner. It was a homeless encampment, and we were having such a hard time. It was a pass to potato. Nobody wanted to deal with it. I got to tell you, Victor Figueroa from Sanitation was fantastic. My NCOs, I literally went out there with him, and we literally, we relocated them to a few shelters. And we got the homeless encampment cleaned up on the Bruckner, but that took. Ralph was dealing with it as well as I was for 2 months. So, and then it was a mess. But we got that done. St. Anne's Harm Reduction helped us with the needle cleanup. They were great too. And then last but not least, we did a march operation. I contacted the State Liquor Authority and requested a march operation. There's a few bars that we're having issues with. One was Tequila Mezcal. It's on Westchester Avenue underneath the L. So we went in there. It looks like they're going to shut them down. They're going to pull their liquor license. We went in there. Nobody was wearing masks. They were smoking hookah there. They just weren't, following any of the social distancing guidelines. The other bar that I'm having a problem with wasn't open on 165 in Tiffany Exito. So we're going to go back and do another march operation, hopefully this weekend with SLA. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for us on our end.
All right, great. That's a lot of work being done there, Sergeant. Thank you so much for that, in particular with the encampment under the Bruckner. As you mentioned, it was like a hot potato and everyone's passing it around. But, you took the bull by the horns there and got creative. So I certainly appreciate your efforts with that. I know Figueroa from Sanitation. He's the nighttime lieutenant, and he's been a part of that district with Sanitation for quite some time. So he does know the ins and outs of the district, which is very, very helpful. And I'm really happy to hear that St. Anne's Harm Reduction participated and was useful, because at times it could be very difficult having that organization work with us. So thank you so much for all of that. Are there any questions for Sergeant Guglielmo, NYPD?
Yes,
Hearing
can you repeat
none?
the name? This is Christina from the DA's office. Can you repeat the name of the gentleman he mentioned? Steve?
Oh, yeah.
What was the last name?
It's Stephen Smith.
Okay, Stephen Smith.
So
okay, I just want to make sure I report that back also.
Yeah, so I've been working with my officer's been working. Actually, I have a unit dedicated to commercial burglary. This guy's killing me in that area. He just keeps breaking his trucks. So I have Officer Conklin has been liaisoning with the DA's office. I forgot who the DA is that he's working with, but we have a case with your office, and we're just at this point it's ridiculous. This guy, I've literally arrested him. I can't even, probably maybe 10, 12 times already now for commercial burglaries. So, and he just, he keeps getting out the next day. So we're trying to look at either putting him in a program or, getting him some jail time or a little bit of both,
Okay. Okay. For sure. I'll definitely report that back also on my end.
Thank you so much.
Just put the message right there. Okay.
Christina,
No
if you
problem.
could send me an email, if you're whatever information you can, if you could forward it to the office, and we'll make sure that Sergeant Guglielmo follows up. We'll follow up with Sergeant Guglielmo with anything that you are able to provide. That'd be great.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you,
All right,
Christina.
cool. Thank you. Anything else for NYPD? All right, Sergeant, it'd be great if you could stay on as long as you can.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Ralph. I'm here.
Thank you, Sergeant.
right.
I do not see Velez on from FDNY. Is there anyone from New York's Bravest on with us? I can certainly follow up. I just want to update everyone. We did have a huge 5-alarm fire last weekend at 1360 Randall Avenue. It was on a Sunday afternoon, and it was a pallet company is outdoors. We're fortunate that it wasn't a residential building. No injuries, no deaths, no serious injuries. I think there was a fire there last year, so I just wanted to make people aware of that. And in this particular fire, the smoke was seen for miles away. If anyone has the Citizen app and want to look at it, there's people all over the east side of the Bronx that has videos of this fire. So I just wanted to, if the NY can provide us an update with, if they have any further information.
Ralph, do you have the address of the fire? Maybe I can provide you some updates.
Yeah, 1360 is on the agenda right there. 5-alarm fire, 1360 Randall Avenue and Drake. The cross street was Drake, and I think the address on Drake was 528 Drake Street. Along those lines.
I got some updates. Do you want me to provide it to you?
Yeah, if you can.
All right. So this is Jo Karina from New York City Emergency Management. So the fire marshal is out in the process of concluding the investigation of the fire. DOB was working with the property owner and the contractor. Give me 1 second. Let me just go through my notes. The private contractor will mobilize equipment, is mobilizing equipment, I should say, to erect a sidewalk fence. Give me 1 more second. Let me just look through it. Con Edison Gas was in the process of cutting down the gas line on that property, and Con Edison Electric has completed the repair for the. They had some issue with the power at that property as well, and something out with their lines in that property. I can get additional information for you, Ralph, and see where we at with those updates, and then get back to you in an email.
All right, Yokarina, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's move on down with the agenda. We have DOT. I think Darissa's on. Darissa?
Hi, Ralph. How are you?
I'm well, Darissa. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so update on open restaurants in the district. I don't have an update unless you have any specific questions for me.
I know we have a few restaurants in our district, and I actually was at one of ours, Seis Vecinos, last week. I stopped in briefly there.
So that
I just want to make sure that there's none issues getting. I did not hear anything from the sergeant from NYPD, but I just want to make sure that all the current information regarding open restaurants is available. I think you guys post that.
Yes.
And if there are any issues on your end, can you just bring them to my attention regarding any of the open restaurants? We want to be supportive, but yet we want to make sure that they're following proper guidelines, in particular for safety measures. So
sure. I can always let you know when we get emails regarding any locations in CB2.
Great. Now, we have this
So, Sarge, did you speak with DOT concerning 165?
What's that, Ralph? I'm sorry, Bobby.
The Éxito. Have you spoken to DOT about what they've been up to?
So Éxito, yes, Éxito's in compliance with the sidewalk. They have sidewalk seating there. As of September 30th, I've been keeping up with the new guidelines. As of September 30th, they're allowed to have 25% capacity indoor. But the problem that I'm having with Exito is not that. The problem is it's the hookah. They're smoking the hookah. The wait staff was not wearing masks. So those are the issues that we're having with them. That's why I'm working with SLA. So SLA is going to come back, and we're going to do another march operation. Unfortunately, the night that we did the march operation, it was raining that night. And most of these places right now, they're operating outdoors. So when it's raining out, they're not open. Like he shut down early that night. He was open at 7. He closed down by 8 p.m. So by the time we got there at 10, it was already closed. So, but we are keeping an eye on it, and it's just a matter of time with them. Also, I was contacted by I forgot to mention this earlier. The Club W was able to receive a liquor license. So Peter, I forgot his last name, the new owner of the Club W, I guess he transferred the liquor license into his name. So they're looking to start up operations come September 30th. I just don't know what that looks like. So the owner reached out to me. He wants to meet with myself and the captain, and he wants to be in compliance. But I don't know how. I have to call the SLA and see how it works with the strip club in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know how that's going to work. But I know that they applied for, they have a permit for a full kitchen, so they are going to be doing food there. So I just don't know how the setup is going to be like.
Can I just jump in? The Club W is the old Mr. Wedge, for those of you that may be thinking.
Right. Okay. Sergeant, we're going to certainly follow up, because obviously if they're meeting with you, that's one thing, but they're clearly not meeting with the community board. And even to have a state liquor license, full license, or wine or beer, they need a letter of no objection from the community board. And I think this is something for Assembly Member-elect Kenny Burgos to put on his radar, because this is something that we're going to need all the help from our state, local electeds in with this. And even our elected Congress members should be made aware that, we have this topless establishment who's a nuisance in the community. It's not like they're invisible. I mean, they're actually committing crimes. There's a illegal activity occurring here. And it's 2 blocks away from a public elementary school, and 2 blocks away from a public junior high school, for that matter. So, but I will certainly follow up, and for the sake of time, we'll move forward now. 100%. Because I don't want to spend too much time on this. So, Darissa, you're still here, right?
Yes, I am.
The permits for 980 Westchester Avenue. So there's construction going on here, and this they're looking to close the school. The street on Fox, entering from Westchester Avenue on Fox Street. But we know that the school there might be school starting next week for all we know. So we wanted to make sure that the owner had the blessing of the schools that are located within this one school building. There's 3 schools. And we've seen letters from the principals of each school stating they're not objecting to the plan, which calls for no buses actually coming down Fox Street the time that the street will be closed. So it works for everyone, and I just want to make sure that that's on your radar for that.
Yeah, they submitted those letters to our Department of Construction, Mitigation, and Coordination, who are the people that issue the permits, and so the process should move forward from there.
Great. Thank you so much for that. The next item is the city bike locations in CB2. So I know that you guys sent us information during the summer months, July and August. It's just unfortunate that the board is not in session those months. So by the time board members, or even people for the public for that matter, we only noticed it when we see the actual installations. And some of the locations are coming into question, how those locations were selected. And so we have questions regarding that, but I do know that the chairman and I will be on a Zoom with the Bronx commissioner this Friday, specifically to discuss the city bike locations. So I just wanted to leave that purposely on the agenda, just so that we're documenting on our end from the board that, we're looking into this, and hopefully we can come up with a solution that works for everyone.
Yeah, at that meeting, we'll have our representatives from our city bike team to literally go through like more specifically like the locations that you have concerns about and see what we can do to work together.
Perfect. Thank you, Darissa. Are there any questions for DOT?
No, Ralph.
Okay, hearing none, let's move on. Darissa, thank you once again. I don't know if sanitation enforcement is on. I don't see no one from sanitation. I do see Siri Miranda on, and I just want to point out to Siri that I know there's a lot of issues with sanitation right now, and but our super for our district, he gets off at 1 o'clock. He told me, and you know he can't make the DSC meetings at 1 o'clock. And I asked him, there's only one day a month, if he can change his schedule, you know, to maybe start an hour later so he can get on at 1 and be off by 2 o'clock or something like that. And I've gotten nowhere. So I'm hoping maybe Siri can assist me with this. We do have a lot of issues with sanitation. And, yeah. So,
hey Ralph, so about that, and we can talk offline about it. Can you please send me an email with the
sure.
specifics so I can follow up on my end?
Sure, I would really appreciate that because, you know, sanitation is a city agency that falls under the charter that they should be attending the monthly district service cabinet meeting.
I understand.
So if the super is telling me because of a conflict with his schedule, I don't know if that's, I mean, I think that's something that can easily be worked out. So I would appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Moving on. I know that Jermaine was on, right? And I got Nicole from HRA and DHS. So the first question is regarding destabilization and commercial hotels in the district. Nicole, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So Nicole, I know that we just had budget consultations, and I did speak with Commissioner Drinkwater. I moderated the meeting with you guys, right?
Yes.
Are there any updates that you can provide me with the commercial hotels, stabilization beds in our district?
So not outside of the information that she gave you. So the information that you received inside the packet had a list of everything that was in the district, and I'm pretty sure you have that. And it just had, you don't currently have any what we are calling COVID hotels, which are hotels that we are using to do a de-density of other adult hotels, but you did, and I did call you and notify you maybe about a month or two ago about a safe haven that we're using for street homeless individuals. So outside of the data that you received from Aaron information, we don't have anything additional update, unless you had something in more detail that you were looking for.
The two locations that you provided to me?
Yes.
Those are safe haven beds you're saying now?
Yes. Yes, they're
you
not
told me
COVID
there was
hotels.
going to be temporary. You told me those were going to be temporary locations.
They are temporary. So they are not what we're calling COVID hotels, which are also temporary. The safe havens are to help with our street homeless issue that's occurring. So that
but they serve the same purpose. Aren't they serving the same purpose?
Yes, but they're not classified the same way. Yes.
They're not classified. So you guys are getting creative with the language here.
I just wanted to be specific with you so you knew exactly how they were.
Okay, you're getting creative with the language. Okay. Now, but in that meeting with Commissioner Drinkwater, these are temporary, and we was discussing the hotels out in the Upper West Side, and she called those phase one. She called those phase one, and I'm requesting when is going to be the phase that we're closing these temporary safe havens down. That's what I want to know.
So as she mentioned, and I'll follow up today, but I'm almost positive the answer will be the same, that we don't have a closure date for our any of the temporary facilities, that we've opened due to the pandemic. again, the issue that occurred with the west side was also, as she mentioned, came way above our head and came directly from the mayor. And yeah, I don't have any, I mean, I know how this sounds, Ralph. I don't have any new information, but I will take back that we spoke today and that you want a little more clarity on some issues.
Yeah, I want an exit plan. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the next one is for Jermaine, and I was just informed I have the wrong address. It's not 975 Longwood. It's 875 Longwood. This is something that I brought to Nicole's attention too. You have a HRA provider there, and I think I need Erica for DOHMH to listen to this too. I'm getting complaints that there's a lot of rodents coming in and out of this building in the front and in the backyard of it. So I don't know. I don't know if we should be calling 311 regarding it, but I do know that it's an HRA provider there. LCG is the provider there. We have HRA clients housed there, even though it's temporary. But it's just something that I want to put on your radar. The address is 875, not 975. So if there's any way, Jermaine, that you...
What's the rest? I'm sorry.
Longwood Avenue. So it's on the agenda here. I just have a 9 instead of the 8. It should be 875. If you can please follow up with that, and just get back to me, I would greatly appreciate it, because like I said, we have homeowners and residents now complaining about not the loitering. There is some loitering, but it appears there's a lot of rodents all over the place. And
Ralph, there's loitering of rats.
Okay. There is loitering of rats. You go.
Well, Jermaine from HRA, I will say, and I'm sure Erica probably will back me on this, that any concerns like this should always be filled out through a 311, just so that there's a paper trail on it, regardless of who the provider is, just to have record of it.
The homeowners,
and it could definitely be looked to, but I'll definitely find out on our end with the protocol for the provider is as far as looking into rodent issues on premises, or what's conducive to these rodents that are on the premises and what's going on. Because most likely, safe to say that it's probably having to do with how they're getting rid of the garbage or how garbage is stored to really be ahead of it. But I'll definitely look into it for you.
That's all I can ask, Shereen. Thank you so much.
Hi,
and I'll have
Ralph. It's Erica.
Yes.
From Health.
Yes.
Same thing, just to add with what Jermaine said, usually any regarding the site, whether it's HRA, DHS, they always have a contract with their own pest control unit. However, like Jermaine said, please put these complaints into 311 because we have inspected our sister agency sites for additional assistance on our end, so we're willing to do that as well. So Jermaine, we can always connect offline or in a separate email with Ralph for any additional updates or support.
Erica, the homeowners all have been calling 311 on this building. The adjacent building to this building is our private house. They literally every night in the backyard of 875 see approximately 25 rats, and we've been calling. We've been calling 311, and nothing has happened. For some reason, LGC has connections at City Hall that allows them to get away with this nonsense. And I'm one of the homeowners. I don't admit, I will not disclose it. I am one of the homeowners. This morning alone, I had 2 rats dead on my yard that I had to pick up this morning because I'm spending so much money on poison.
Okay.
Bobby, if you can get me some 311 calls, if you can give me the 311 complaint numbers, I'll forward them to Jermaine.
I'll get them from my neighbors.
All right. Okay.
Any information, or even if it's not the 311 complaint numbers, Ralph or Bobby, either can send me a separate email regarding the specific problem areas, and I can pull up what we have on that information and what has been done from health perspective. I can't speak on HRA, but I can speak on how many inspections or how many inspectors visited the property. So if you can send me that information via email, I can provide you that report.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's move on. Victoria, you're still here with us?
Hello?
Hi.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How you doing?
Oh, okay. Hi, Victoria from Department of Buildings. How you doing, Ralph? So
I'm well. Thank you so much.
Good. I'm glad to hear. I'm trying to, because I know on the agenda, the last agenda, 886 Irvine Street. We spoke about that last time. So what do you want me to just send another inspector out there? Because there's nothing right now that I see.
If we can do that, I would appreciate it. I know that the inspector that went the last time spoke with the homeowner, and the homeowner is not allowing access, and that closes out that call or that complaint. And this is something that I have now. The homeowners on Fail Street also complaining about this illegal shed that's in the back. It's a nuisance. It's illegal. And here's another case where the homeowners adjacent to it are experiencing issues with rodents, and they feel that it's coming out ever since this shed was built. And it's unfortunate that the homeowner is not allowing the inspector to inspect it. I just want to go on record on this, and I want to, if we can open it up again, and if you can send another inspector, that would be great.
Yeah, because without the owner giving access, there's really not much that we can do unless we can, get in there somehow. But I'll definitely.
So I have the homeowners adjacent to it. They're willing to allow the inspector on their property, so he can at least view it from their property.
All right, so can you just send me that? If you could send me that information with the homeowner's name and the phone number, and I can attach that to the enforcement unit, and they can have that so that when the inspector goes out there, they can call whomever, and then they can get access. Because that's what we
I'll get that to you by the end of today. I'll get that to you by the end of today. That's not a problem. And then, are there any issues with construction permits being issued by DOB? And any stop work orders, COVID related? In my district?
No updates on that other than the last conversation that I think we emailed each other. There's no updates on that. I know you spoke about Monida Street. Is that what you spoke about?
Yes, 820 Monida, 820 Monida Street. Yes.
Yes, I did some research on that, and I didn't see any stop work order. What there was on there was a vacate, and it still exists on the property from 2015. They have 2 fines for it, but I don't see anything about a stop work order in particular.
Okay. And that's a partial vacate, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's a partial vacate from 2015. That's the only thing that I saw on their property. I didn't see anything about a stop work order. So I remember emailing you. I don't know if you didn't
I'll
respond.
follow back up. I'll follow back up with that then. All right.
Okay, cool.
Any questions for DOB? Anyone has any questions for DOB? Okay, moving on. Parks. I know Felix and Valerie is on. Felix?
Hi, Ralph. Do you hear me?
Yeah, hi, Valerie. How we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Hi,
so, if you or Felix, can anyone give us an update on Bill Rainey Park?
Well, Felix should be. Felix, are you there?
I see him on, and he's unmuted, but
maybe he can't. See. Maybe he needs to unmute himself.
We can also use the chat function, and if everyone would be gracious enough just to leave their contact info so we can document it, and it will be included as your attendance, that would be great. But if not, Valerie, is there anything that you can provide us for Bill Rainey Park?
Well, what I know over the summer, I know Pep has been out there on a regular basis, issuing summonses, doing what, addressing the complaints. As far as everything, I do know that. Now, I know that over the summer we had additional staff, like staff was handing out bags to people that was barbecuing. I was actually out there quite a few times this summer, working on weekends, handing out bags, making sure people was complying to what they had to comply to. I know that NYPD has also been giving support to us as far as over the summer with bill rating. So as far as anything else, I haven't heard any big major problems we're having here.
So yeah, we certainly want to acknowledge the efforts that has been made from conversations with the commissioner, conversations with PEP, and conversations with the local precinct. But we still have an issue with like this loitering after hours, the conditions of people selling food there, and in particular after hours on Interval. Just the gatherings of people and the volume of noise that's coming out of it. And it's something why I put it on the agenda just so that we can, acknowledge that we know efforts are being made. I don't know if they're good enough though. If I'm still getting these complaints, and I'm just hoping for any feedback from Parks now on what other measures could we do to address this.
Now, what days does this happen? Is it more or less towards the weekends and once everybody is gone home, or is it later in the evenings, maybe about 8 or 9 o'clock people are gathering? Like, we need to know times and what dates.
Valerie.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Phyllis, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. His question is about Bahraini. The community board is getting more complaints about the gatherings. I would take it is late in the evenings, and then
it's after 4:30 basically. Most of the gathering is after 4:30 after everyone leaves for the day. So that's what the problem is going on, and that's what's the situation. But I know Pep has been around trying to break up the gathering, keeping the social distance and things like that.
Okay. But here's the problem, Ralph, and St. Vincent de Paul has been complaining quite a bit about it. Is that there's loud music being played after 4:30, primarily starting Thursdays, and it goes right into Fridays. And I know that they need a sound permit because I'm even hearing music in the house, and I'm driving half a page. What happens is, and I'm not taking anything away from Pep. Pep comes in, moves them out. The 4-1 comes in, moves them out. And the minute that everybody leaves, meaning Pep and the 4-1, they come right back into the park and they start hanging out in the park. So this is a full night type of situation that's occurring.
Okay.
And since Erica is online, they're also cooking on there, and that's a Department of Health issue also. So, maybe we need to talk, set up another meeting with PD, PEP, Park, Department of Health, and Consumer Service, because it's really getting out of hand.
Okay.
And the other day, the garbage bags was almost 6 feet tall by the station house, the comfort station. I mean, I was shocked. It covered the cars. That's how tall it was.
Okay.
All right. So we'll look into if we can. I know the weather's starting to break now, but it's something where we should still be as diligent as we possibly can.
Okay.
And I will follow up with the chairman and with Parks to see what's the next course of what we should do here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other item is the mediums.
Rob, you there? Okay, the mediums are right.
Yeah.
With the nursery is aware of it. They have them on the list due to they low staffing themselves. They've been hitting different areas, and it's getting harder for them to get to these areas because a lot of green streets are overgrowing. So they have them it's on the list, so they've been hit by lists, and it's on the list. So I don't know when it's going to be hit. I can't give you a particular date or time when, but it's on their list to be hit. There's a lot of these places, areas that I know in my green streets, my playgrounds, their horticulture areas are getting very high. And they understaffed. They're understaffed themselves.
I understand that, and this was something that we was discussing from the last fiscal year. So I'm just really hoping that this gets addressed. And it's something that I mentioned before. So the residents, they all have jokes on me, in particular with the mediums. They all feel that they're going to see deers running out of them soon.
Wow.
So it's kind of I don't have a response. I like to be sarcastic. I can't even get sarcastic with these residents when they tell me that. So please keep this on the radar, and it's something that we need to address because it's really, really out of hand. And it's actually, if you're like on Lafayette, it's really a safety issue because you can't see the street on either side. And when you're approaching, you can't even see the stop signs there because of the amount of
stuff.
Yes, yes. Please. Okay.
No, I've been talking
Any
to
questions
with the director of horticulture, and he's been having it on the hot list. He's aware of it. He's understanding. He's aware of it. He's been keeping it on the hot list.
All right. Well, other than that, Valerie and Felix, it's good hearing from you guys. Thank you so much.
Same here.
Thank you, Ralph.
And same here,
Thank
Ralph.
you,
Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on is I have traffic enforcement. I don't see traffic enforcement on, but I know this was something that I brought to Sergeant Guglielmo's attention at 919 East 163rd Street about the illegal parking on the sidewalk there.
Yes, I sent the NCOs over there. They wrote summonses. We did two different major initiatives. We did one there, and we also did one on Southern Boulevard. I was getting complaints. I remember, Ralph, you were in on the mix on that. There was a gentleman in the neighborhood who was found posting pictures to Instagram about blocking bike lanes on Councilman Salamanca's Instagram. I think this is Instagram or Twitter. I don't know, one of the accounts. But we went over there. We towed a bunch of vehicles over there as well. And we also have a joint operation with sanitation coming up because a lot of these vehicles are also abandoned vehicles that they're working on as far as these shops go. So I've been in contact with sanitation. We're doing a joint operation in 2 weeks to remove some of the derelict vehicles. So if anybody knows, or if anybody knows in the community of any derelict vehicles, they can email myself or text me, and we'll get those vehicles removed.
Great. Thank you so much, Sergeant. I appreciate that.
Hey, Ralph, real quick, I forgot to mention this earlier in regards to Rainey Park. So I have 2 dedicated officers that are in Rainey Park. The only thing that I was going to ask is that maybe we can get with Parks, because I think we have to start. My guys write them summonses for the loud music and for the drinking, but I think there are also Parks summonses that we can give them. I don't know if Parks wants to liaison with my guys, for littering and stuff like this. We don't really write those summonses. I know Parks issues those summonses. We actually had a shooting there last weekend, which I forgot to mention. But my 2 officers that I have stationed at Rainey Park, it was at 1022 Refugees Light. It was about 4 a.m., and there was a shots fired call. But I have 2 officers dedicated to the park every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's all they do is they're in the park with the smart cars. So they were there within less than a minute of the shots fired call coming over, and we actually apprehended the female, and we recovered the firearm. But maybe one of the things we can do is also have Parks do some enforcement as far as summonsing in the park.
Well, from my understanding, Sarge, this is Valerie. How are you?
Hi, Valerie. How are you?
I'm good. PEP has been issuing summonses, and what I can do, we can always send that number to the community board, the number of summonses we issued out here this summer. But Captain Sanchez and Captain Byron has really been out there all summer. And we have issued summons to people for open containers and so forth.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, my guys have seen your people out there. I mean, they've been out there every weekend, but it's mostly Thursday, Friday, Saturdays at night, and we're just trying to push them out of the park. But I mean, it seems like that's I've been taking speakers, I've been vouchering speakers, and issuing summonses for the sound reproduction devices. So.
Okay, I'll email the commissioner today and let her know about this as well. And I'll also reach out to the captain as well.
Okay.
Right,
okay,
cool. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Sergeant.
All right.
Okay, so let's move on. We have
just 1 second, Ralph. Sergeant Guglielmo. On that 163rd Street. We're getting a lot of complaints from the residents. So I see that you're taking care of it. but can we make that a trouble spot, and have the NCOs constantly on there? Because it's
Absolutely.
Really,
Absolutely. Yep. No, it's definitely one of my. So the thing that I'm working on right now is we issued summonses, but now I'm working on actually towing some of the vehicles, because that's the other issue. Like some of the vehicles that don't have license plates on them, that aren't registered vehicles, that's what we're working on next. Because listen, in the end, the way to hurt these guys is in their pockets. And I don't want to take money out of people's pockets, because I understand they're running a business, but you also can't have a junkyard parked in front of your location. So there's two different trouble spots there. But you know what I'll do is I'll email Ralph and yourself the activity that we've done there so far.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sergeant. So, Erica, we're back up to you now. I know that I spoke with Anita Reyes. She's either her or yourself are going to do a presentation at our full board meeting on the 30th.
Anita will be doing the presentation. I believe she confirmed regarding the presentation request. Regarding the agenda items, so I did send out the notification for this those deciding the spraying that took place. It should have been last night up to this morning. It was on the 15th. And this was originally scheduled the week before, but because of the rain, we had to reschedule. I did reach out to my inspectors to ensure that it was completed. It should have been completed because if it wasn't, I would have gotten a notification prior. So I did want to clarify, I had some, not necessarily committee board too, but other boards did email me regarding that they wanted spraying in their areas. And so it doesn't go by request. How this works is we have traps throughout the entire city. And so what happens is we collect these traps, we test them, and if we hit a positive pool of West Nile mosquitoes test positive for West Nile, that's when we conduct, triggers our protocols to conduct spraying in certain areas. And so that's why it's very limited zip codes in that notification that I sent over. So that's regarding the spraying. In regards to COVID, similar information that we've sent out, the core 4, which consists of social distancing, face coverings, hand washing, and to only leave your home for essential needs, right? Again, we are encouraging all New Yorkers to get tested. So if you have any constituents calling in for specific testing sites, they can call 311 or visit the website to find the nearest location to them. Other questions we've been getting is since businesses are transitioning into reopening, a lot of businesses have questions regarding regulations from the state or even the city. So there is a dedicated hotline number. That number is 1-800-727-4692. We've shared it in the past. I can share it in the chat. So if you have any businesses that have any questions, please have them reach out to that hotline. That's it for my updates, unless there are any specific health-related questions.
No, you've been helpful already also with the other items on the agenda, Erica. Thank you so much for that. And that really covers the agenda that we have right now.
Ralph, I just need Erica for 1 second. Going back to Bill Rainey Park, is there any way we can get inspectors to go to Bill Rainey Park after 4 o'clock? Because people are cooking food there and selling food, and I do not know if the food is at the proper temperature or whether they have any permits from Department of Health or Department of Parks and Service.
Okay, so great question. So we would really have to look into this because it really depends on what is being done, right? So if people are barbecuing and they're just barbecuing there and feeding their families, that wouldn't necessarily apply as a mobile food vending kind of business. So I do know Park has regulations regarding that. However, if they are barbecuing and selling it like if they were a restaurant or a mobile food vending unit, then that's an issue because that's illegal, right? They don't have the vending for it. They don't have the appropriate vehicle or tools or licensees to even do this. So if this is something that is occurring, please send me that information. You can include parks in there as well, and we can send out some inspectors. I do ask to please keep in mind that because we just recently started phasing out our inspectors to the field, it may take a little bit longer just because we have a backlog on some inspections that need to be completed, but we can do that as well. So please send me that information.
We will. And Ralph, maybe like I said, set up a meeting with NYPD, FDNY, Parks, Department of Health, Consumer Affairs. So like that we could probably create a task force and go out there on a weekend and hit everybody, because we all know that they're selling. Parks knows that they're selling, and so is PD. We need to do it in a combined force, so like this, we can get some control of that park, because it's really good.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Bobby. Thank you so much. That concludes the items on the agenda. I just want to acknowledge that we have Miles Burnett, the Executive Director of the Southern Boulevard Bid On. Miles, is there anything that you want to say? Miles. All right, we'll get back to Miles.
Hey,
how you
can
doing,
you hear
Miles?
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm good. So, we're dealing with things on the merchants, the vendors is definitely a problem with no enforcement, and then a rollback and trash that's being left behind by vendors causing a real our needs. 24 crew for us. I also wanted to say, while I have people on the phone, because there's always a lot of conversation about Del Valle Square, we're wondering about maintaining the, I guess you would call them tree pits, that have just become excessively overgrown. The parks thing, we're trying to take care of the landscaping issues because we know there's been agency cutbacks across the board. But we only have so many, so there's a lot of increase in that department. I will be speaking with the Economic Development Committee tonight.
All right, Miles. Sounds great. Thank you so much. Felix and Valerie, I'm sure you heard about the Valle Square, the tree pits. If
Yes.
you can just look into that, that'd be great.
Yes.
I have 5 minutes left. Is there anyone else that has any announcements?
Hey, Ralph, I just wanted to make a quick announcement because I also have to be out by 2 p.m. It's Mariel from the Comptroller's Office. I hope everyone's doing well. I just wanted to make a quick announcement. We have published a resource guide that I sent to Cynthia not too long ago, Ralph, regarding back to school. So there's all the resources that the DOE has put out in one concrete location or any kind of support services. That is something that we have put out, and then we have also put out information regarding the mistreatment of animals in some city, or the ill treatment of animals in certain city facilities, and also to trying to create equity within the educational system when it comes to homeless students and remote learning. So I sent 2 of those things, the guide, if people want them and need them, and it's in 3 different languages for now. And we're going to hopefully translate into other languages. And I sent the press release regarding the equity for making sure that homeless students have a good place to do remote learning, and that is what they have to do. And then regarding the way that animals are treated in city facilities, Ralph, I'm not sure if folks on the community board would want that. I can send that forward as well.
Send it. We can forward it out. No problem.
Thank you. That's all.
All right, Maria. Good to see you. Take care. Anyone else?
Good seeing you, Maria.
Hey, Ralph. I'm sorry. Joe Carino, go ahead. Joe Carino, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi, Ralph and Bobby. Sarah here with I just wanted to.
All right. Whoa. I'm hearing too many echoes. Who's speaking here? Okay, Suri, go ahead.
Hi, y'all. I'm sorry. So I just wanted to inform you we're going to have this is going to be our 4th round of mass distribution. We have organized a process, so we now have a form where you can share it with organizations that are in need of face masks for them to request. Obviously, you can always request for the community board, but I just wanted to make sure that people know that this is probably going to be one of our last ones. So if you want to request to make sure that you have, please do so. I'll share the link in a few minutes.
I'll follow up with you with that. Not a problem, Suri. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jokarina.
Hey, this is Jokarina, New York City Emergency Management. I just want to remind New Yorkers that we have a very active hurricane season, and you definitely should know if you live in a zone or not. I shared a couple of information through the chat that you can go through and check whether or not you live in a zone. I also send you some email to you and Cynthia, Ralph, that you can share with your constituents. And we also send you some information regarding that fire that you mentioned previously. So check the email for that.
All right. Perfect. I appreciate that. And I just looked at the zone link that you put in there. FYI, Board 2 is in a flood zone, so in case people didn't know that. Anyone else?
Yes, hello. This is Christina from the DA's office. So,
Hi,
quick
Christina.
announcement. Due to the uptick in gun violence throughout the borough, we are hosting a series of anti-violence events throughout the borough. We've so far hosted one in the 44th Precinct District area, which was a peace march. We just hosted one in the 42nd Precinct District area, which was a peace march with including a resource fair, and we're looking to host our next one within the confines of the 48th Precinct District. It'll be a town hall and a re-entry fair. So the purpose of all of these events is to kind of bring awareness to the uptick in violence and to also to get the community to speak up when we have cases of gun violence within the community. Because that's one thing that we haven't seen much of is community participation when it comes to testifying. So we're looking for the community to speak up, to bring awareness, and for the violence to end.
Okay. Sounds
so
good,
as soon
Christina.
as I get a flyer, I'll share it with everyone.
Of course, Board 2 will always support any efforts and measures being made to, decrease any type of violence, in particular gun violence, knowing that there is an uptick. So thank you so much for that.
And
anyone else? You got 30 seconds.
Christina, just on that case that Sergeant Guglielmo was talking about that guy with the Amazon, all I want you to know is that Community Board 2 fully supports the 4-1, and anything that you guys can do on this case, we would greatly appreciate it.
For sure. I'll definitely let them know, the DA know.
All right.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, listen, I want to thank everyone for participating in today's District Service Cabinet meeting. You can always follow up and send us any additional information via email. There's a couple of things that I will be following up here. I want to thank Assemblymember-elect Burgos, Congress Member-elect Torres, and I want to thank Chairman Crespo for participating today. Everyone else is more or less on the normal cast of characters. So I do appreciate everyone participating and making efforts to get, my board issues resolved. With that being said, stay safe, everyone, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
You too. Have a great one.
Have a great day.